You're listening to Four Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast.
Happy Friday, everybody. Today is June 26th. I'm Johnny Kahner. Thank you for listening and watching Four Things to Know today. Let's get to our top story, and it's a good one. A Minnesota police officer shot in the line of duty will be released from the hospital later today. St. Peter officer Austin Buss was seriously hurt last week after the BCA says a 21-year-old man fired a shotgun down a hallway that hit Buss in the arm. It happened during a standoff 1 week ago that triggered a shelter-in-place order. Authorities say officers found the man dead inside a home. The BCA says a woman and a child were also inside, but they were taken to safety. So today, for Buss's release, there will be a procession on Highway 169 this afternoon as he makes his return home. We will have a chopper up there, and we'll bring you that video tonight on WCCO News. Very glad that he's making it home safe. Your second thing to know today, a local state representative charged with driving drunk was in court today. You may remember seeing a picture back in March that showed GOP representatives Elliott Engen and Walter Hudson at a bar in St. Paul. Now, later that night, Engen was pulled over in White Bear Lake. John Lauritsen is following this case for us. He has more from Maplewood, where Engen and his attorney made a quick stop in court.
And it wasn't clear if Engen would plead guilty or not guilty this morning, but as it turns out, he was only in court for about 5 minutes with his attorney, Chris Maddle, before they were granted a new hearing on August 28th. Now, we were there this morning as well as Engen made his way into court. His attorney advised him not to speak with the media this morning. When he was pulled over in March, Engen initially said he was sober cabbing State Representative Walter Hudson and another passenger and initially denied drinking alcohol. Hudson also had a gun on him, but has a valid permit to carry, and according to the report, he complied with officers. The police report also states Engen's blood alcohol concentration was over 0.08 within 2 hours of being pulled over, and the police noticed he had watery, glassy, and bloodshot eyes. Again, his next court appearance will now be August 28th, but it is worth noting that the House Ethics Committee unanimously determined that there was no probable cause in this case, meaning Engen and Hudson were allowed to return to their committees. Now, shortly after this incident, Engen went to the social media platform X and made a post where he apologized to family, colleagues, and constituents and vowed to be better going forward. Engen also recently dropped a bid for state auditor and will not seek re-election in the House.
Number 3, a big vote today in Inver Grove Heights on a proposed data center there. Today, the City Council voted to approve a year-long moratorium on data centers. This vote was actually delayed to this morning after a chaotic meeting on Monday night. You might remember some of the sound we played from that meeting earlier this week on the show. Residents strongly opposed to data centers are using their voices to let city leaders know where they stand. They are requesting an environmental study and want to see that moratorium on data centers. Now, after more public comment today, the council did vote 3-2 to allow a year-long moratorium. That includes a plan that's already in place for one data center. Here's what one Inver Grove Heights resident, Carrie Lundberg, had to say after that vote.
Let's use this pause to truly understand the impacts. The EAW and the moratorium are two tools we can use that complement each other and allow us the time to fully understand the situation. Getting the facts first is the responsible way forward. It ensures a transparent process that protects the community and the environment, supports the council, and ensures this project is done correctly.
The city is facing a possible lawsuit from one developer who says the city already gave them a green light to build a data center. That's an issue facing many cities in Minnesota right now. Yesterday, the Minneapolis City Council approved a 5-month pause on the development of any large new data centers. Council members who support the move want to give city staff time to study regulations and examine the environmental impacts. Your fourth thing to know, starting today, you've got your first chance to vote for who will be on the ballot in Minnesota in November's election. Early voting is now open for Minnesota's state primary. Registered voters can vote in person or by mail, but it is important to remember in a primary election, you do not have to declare a party, but you do have to pick one party for your ballot. Early in-person voting is available weekdays in Minneapolis from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. That goes on until July 24th. The primary election is on August 11th, where you can still vote in person. Winners will then go on to the November's general election. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, who received the DFL endorsement, is running for U.S. Senate against Representative Angie Craig on the DFL side. On the GOP side, Adam Schwarzy, who also received the GOP endorsement, as well as Royce White and Michelle Tafoya, are considered the top candidates. They're all running for the seat being vacated by Senator Tina Smith. Now let's go to the governor's race. House Speaker Lisa Dameth is touring communities across the state today. She's promoting early voting as well. 7 Republicans are also vying for the position, including MyPillow CEO Mike Lindell and businessman Kendall Qualls. Those 3 are the frontrunners right now, and Qualls got the GOP endorsement. Senator Amy Klobuchar is the heavy favorite on the DFL side after Governor Tim Walz said he would not run for another term. Klobuchar also has the DFL endorsement. Those are your 4 things to know today. Let's check in now on a steamy weekend forecast.
Hey guys, get ready for some extreme heat and humidity after our comfortable stretch. Yeah, it's going to be coming to an end. Still not bad tonight. Temperatures will be falling through the 70s and into the lower 60s as we get ready to kick off Pride weekend. Just a couple of passing clouds tonight. Tomorrow, a little bit more in the way of some sunshine. That's going to get us into the low and mid 80s. The humidity is going to be up a little bit more. The winds are going to be up a little bit more, and that's what's going to get us close to 90 on Sunday. There could be a morning storm Sunday. Still some question marks with that, but we're locked in to the heat and humidity, especially Monday. That's going to be the hottest day of this stretch coming up, with high temperatures in the upper 90s and heat index values in the triple digits. We're going to keep things in the 90s, low to mid 90s through most of next week.
And now, here's more to know.
Police are investigating the death of a worker at a Minnesota meat plant. It happened around 1 a.m. Thursday during an overnight shift at Pilgrims in Cold Spring. That's just southwest of St. Cloud. Police say a 29-year-old man got pinned under some equipment, and by the time officers arrived, fellow employees had already pulled the man out. He did die at the plant. The company says the employee had been trying to fix a loading dock. Both the company and police are investigating to figure out exactly what happened. We're following another deadly plane crash in Minnesota. The Winona Fire Department says the crash happened shortly after 8 o'clock last night at the Winona Municipal Airport. The fire department posted a photo on their Facebook page and wrote that, quote, life-saving measures were attempted on the lone pilot of the aircraft. Ultimately, the patient died at the scene. The FAA and NTSB are investigating what happened, and we have reached out to the Winona County Sheriff to try and get more details about this crash and the pilot, of course. We will let you know when we find out. 2 of 12 local anti-ICE protesters arrested last week are now sharing their story. Both Callum Robinett and Isaac Sant are charged with trying to impede or injure ICE officers. Sant is also charged with interstate stalking. If convicted, both face years behind bars in federal prison. Both spoke with Esme Murphy in this week's Talking Points, and they say they did nothing wrong.
Why did you agree to come to? You seemed eager to want to talk about this.
You know, I've been a resident of Minnesota my whole life. I know what the values of Minnesotans are. I know how much we care about one another and how much we want to stand up and love our neighbors. And I think people need to hear this story.
And you can hear more of that conversation on our YouTube page. Just search for Talking Points. Hospice nurses in Minnesota and Iowa are set to strike next month. 65 hospice nurses at Allina Health, who are members of SEIU Healthcare Minnesota and Iowa, have filed the required 10-day notice for a strike. That strike would take place on July 6th. Earlier this month, the group voted with a 96% support to authorize the strike. The vote comes after the two sides have bargained for nearly a full year to reach a first contract. Key sticking points include workers demanding that Allina stop denying them interim raises during the bargaining process, and the union bargaining team's frustration that progress in negotiations has slowed dramatically since the two sides started. The two sides will meet today. We'll have more on those negotiations as we learn them. This weekend is the Twin Cities Pride Festival. Events kick off tonight with a youth night from 5 to 8 in Loring Park. That's also where the festival is on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So for more on Sunday's parade, organizers say it's one of the largest in the country and anticipate more than 200,000 people will line Hennepin Avenue to watch. The big events start at 3rd Street and they march down Spruce just before Loring Park. It starts at 11 and continues until 2 o'clock. Let's talk sports. We spoke a little bit yesterday on the Naz Reid trade. They might not be done dealing. That's what our Mike Max says. The Wolves got LaMelo Ball in return, and Mike Max spoke with Trent Tucker. He's a former NBA player with rich ties to Minnesota basketball. Maxey says Tucker thinks it's a big move for the team because LaMelo Ball will help Anthony Edwards. And Maxey also says Ant, he has heard behind scenes, is pretty happy with the deal too.
They could be dynamic. They're going to be exciting for sure. Ball likes to play up tempo. Anthony Edwards is as good as anybody in transition. So I think that's going to free up his game to allow him to be more in open space where he can do more damage.
The KPMG Women's PGA Championship at Hazeltine is still going on. It's just day 2 out there. What a round yesterday. Ina Yoon from Seoul, South Korea, she is the leader right now as I record. She shot 9 under par. Nelly Korda shot 2 under, so big lead on Korda. There were many others in the mix there as well. Tickets are still available if you want to get out this weekend. You can get in for less than $60. Plus, kids under 15 get in free with adults. That'd be a fun way to spend some of the weekend. See some good golf. I will be playing myself. It won't be good golf, but I will. I'll still be playing. Let's talk soccer quickly. The U.S. men's soccer team, they lost in the final seconds of a late game last night out in L.A. Now, don't worry. It didn't really matter. But in the final seconds, Turkey was able to get 1 goal to win the game 3-2. The U.S. will move on, though. They will take on Bosnia and Herzegovina on July 1st in Santa Clara, California. Let's keep going into the knockout round. Hopefully they can keep winning some matches.
It's time to take a breath with your Daily Bright Spot.
Today is the final competition day for athletes at this year's Special Olympics USA Games, which are, of course, being held in Minnesota. People have come from all over to compete or cheer on their favorite athletes, but one of those athletes did not have to travel too far. Noah Lamuska lives in North Oaks and is a track and field athlete at the games. Our Barrett Leone had a chance to catch up with him earlier today on WCCO Mornings.
I've got a silver medal and a bronze medal. I have a silver medal in the 400-meter run, and then I have a bronze medal in the 100-meter run. And in my 400-meter run, the guy beat me by 3 steps, and it was a very tight race.
Very close. And Noah is one of the amazing athletes representing Minnesota, and you're still competing. You've got a race today.
Yes, I do. I have my 200-meter run, and I'm trying to go for gold, but if I do not get gold, I will be brave in the attempt.
Yeah, Noah, you are brave no matter what. We did check, and Noah's race finished up over at the U of M before I got up here. He came in 8th place. So congrats to Noah and all the athletes that competed this week. That was so much fun to see. I thought our WCCO crew did a great job highlighting many of those athletes and all the good things the games do, aside from actual sports themselves, the healthcare, the empowerment, the independence that they teach. Really, really cool, fun event here. And yeah, it was just a lot of fun to see. So hopefully we can get it back in another future year. Well, I'm Johnny Kahner. This has been 4 Things to Know. We, of course, are here with the news you need every weekday afternoon by 3 o'clock. Thanks so much for watching us this week, for checking us out in your car, wherever you listen to the show. Hope you have a great weekend. Talk to you on Monday.
Listen to 4 Things to Know, a WCCO daily news podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Maria Lizzignoli, and this podcast comes to you from the WCCO Podcast Studio.
I'm Johnny Kahner, and this is where you'll find the latest news of the day with us on 4 Things to Know.
I'm Mariel Mose, and I bring you the stories behind the female athletes redefining the game on women in sports.
I'm Adam Duxter. Join me for a deep dive into faith and what it means to Minnesotans around the state on Bigger Than Belief.
Stay in the know on the go with the WCCO Podcast Studio. Go to WCCO.com/podcasts.